fine place to harvest some ingredients.
No harm in picking a few. I'd wager there's ought to be found here.
An ogre comes.
We have no means of exporting our enemies.
Let my magic consume your weapons with the fury of the elements. We must rally. Panicking will only place the enemy's advantage. Seems we have enraged our foe. Might we not use their rage to our I shall finish this! For the Arisen! First and foremost, we'll want to knock it off balance. We've a much easier target when lying prone. This battle will demand all our strength. We must stand together if we want to succeed.
The paths to victory are myriad. That strategy will never be hurt.
Now that is a surprise.
Pray, have patience with me, Master. I've shared all I know. Where ought we to go now? I'll serve with redoubled vigor this day. I grant you fire's blaze. Use it well.
One might confidently call that a resounding victory.
We mustn't allow ourselves to become complacent. Take each trial as it comes.
I feel refreshed and ready for a new day.
Come, we've much to be getting on with.
Feeling rested, I trust?
Halt! You are approaching the gates of Vernworth, capital of Vermund. None may pass without the proper documents. If you've an entry permit, an invitation, or proof of citizenship, present it now. I see. So you are to meet with Captain Brandt. I shan't impede you then. Come with me.
I was informed of your coming would be arisen.
Captain Brandt, you should know that this individual fought valiantly to defend the troops. The Watchhead told me himself.
As decreed by the great will of our world, there can only be one Arisen. That Arisen now resides within the palace. Indeed, he is our sovereign and the rightful ruler of Vermont. It follows, therefore, that this ruffian before us is naught but a pretender. You must submit to questioning. If you value your life, you will not attempt to flee. I shall conduct the interrogation myself. Stand... I beg your forgiveness for my insolence, Your Majesty. If the Queen Regent had learned of your existence, I fear your life would have been in peril. I had no choice but to treat you as a pretender, lest my actions draw suspicion from watchful eyes. Then you have truly lost your memory? In that case, mayhap I ought to explain the situation before we proceed. You, and no other, are the Sovereign, the only legitimate ruler of this kingdom. Some days past, you confronted the dragon in the village of Melv, whereupon you became Arisen. The people rejoiced, for our true liege had finally appeared, ending Vermont's long years of council rule. Yet, not all celebrated your coming. Your arrival would have robbed the Queen Regent Disa of everything. During the time of the previous council, she acted as a queen in her own right, ruling the palace as she saw fit. And just after the consul's passing, when 'twas all but certain that her son would take his father's place, word reached the castle that the Arisen had been found. To Disa, Your Majesty's very existence is naught but an obstacle to her own family's continued prosperity. The assassination of the Arisen is an impossible feat for mortal hands. Thus, Disa chose to abduct Your Majesty while you recovered from your wounds. Following that, she prepared a replacement to serve as the Sovereign in your stead. A mere puppet. However, with Your Majesty returned, I have no intention of twiddling my thumbs as Disa plays her games. I shall devise some plans to further our cause. Pray, visit me a night in the tavern that we might discuss them. This one's cleared of all suspicion and has my permission to remain in the capital. You are to trouble the good sir no further. Are we clear?
Off to market we go.
Pray forgive me, I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Consign it! Get back here! You there! Did you see an urchin in a cap run past just now? Can you tell me which way he went? Many thanks. I'll catch that wretch yet.
You're a kind one, aren't you? 'Twould seem I am in your debt. In fact, there's aught I would ask of you if you've the time to spare.
Aha! There you are!
Oh, apologies, but our chat will have to wait. Till next week.
I should very much like to rejoin you, Master.
An ox cart ought to make our journey easier.
Walking everywhere is certainly tiring. Mayhap this ladder is here for a reason.
We ought to put it to good use.
Welcome to Bjorn's Armory. You'll find only pieces of the finest quality line these shelves. And quality is what you need if you want to survive. So before you check the price, just remember, misers die early deaths. Aught catch your eye? Just say the word. Many thanks. I appreciate the business.
Our packs are heavier, and our purses far lighter.
An investment made for safer travels can hardly be called extravagant.
I can't wait to see what the day holds. The hours seem to fly when I'm ill.
Time to be in Rome.
I just about had my fill
Puts
of
me
the
in the mood for a song, it does.
You don't need a permit to get into Batal. Just hide in the back of an ox cart, aye? It works. Mind, you've got to avoid the guard's line of sight. But it's easy enough. I should know, I've done it.
Fine wares all.
Your Majesty, your timing is impeccable. I just thought to call for you. 'Tis not a matter for prying ears. Pray, let us speak out here.
Fine wares all.
The road's at your neck.
This boat's ill.
As I informed you when last we spoke, the palace is filled with the Queen Regent's sycophants. Should Disa denounce your Majesty as a false arisen, few would elect to doubt her. Yet if we are to prove your identity, I believe there is no occasion more suitable than the coronation. It was delayed so that the sovereign, that is, the false arisen, could convalesce in the palace, but the date has now been set. The central players in the court ought all be in attendance. It would be a fine opportunity to display your Majesty's power. None would be able to deny that you are the true arisen then. There are only select members of the nobility and citizens who have contributed greatly to Vermont's continued prosperity will be granted entry. If your Majesty is to be counted among them, you will need to attend to a number of tasks. Pray, allow me to summarize them for you. The citizenry have called upon my soldiers to cull monsters that plague the land. I dare say, 'twould be a fine contribution were you to accomplish these tasks unaided. What say you? Might I ask for your cooperation in this matter? I thank you, your Majesty. There are the first is Trevo Mine, to the northwest. We've had reports of goblins swarming in great numbers. Next is Half Village, west of Burnworth. I believe soldiers have already been dispatched to cull an infestation of saurians there. Finally, there is a call for someone to locate a group of soldiers tasked with delivering freight. They were last seen crossing the second bridge on the eastern edge of Vermont.
We have been charged with the felling of monsters.
We have not.
There is much we ought to tend to. We are to strengthen your Majesty's claim as a true arisen. You will need to infiltrate the palace to gather evidence of Disa's misdeeds. I hesitate to ask something so dangerous of you, yet I fear we have few other options. I have attempted to do the same through my own channels before now, though would that I could undertake the task myself, but my station prohibits me from reckless action. What say you, your Majesty? Might I ask this task of you? I shall ensure that the door to the Queen Regent's office is open between midnight and dawn. Pray use that time to conduct your investigation. There is much we ought to tend to, if we are to strengthen your... Of all those who serve the Queen Regent, there is but one who I have no doubt will lend his support to your Majesty's cause. I refer to Waldar, a magistrate. Many a time has Disa demanded Waldar amend the code of Vermont to her own benefit. And many a time has the magistrate refused her, for he is loyal to none but the spirit of the law. As a result, he now sits in a cell beneath the palace. Our laws dictate that your Majesty is our rightful ruler. Thus, as the staunchest supporter of the law known to the palace, I'm quite confident that Waldor will be willing to vouch for your Majesty. What say you? Might you be willing to aid me in I prepared a means for you to enter the palace dungeons. Pray, this mission demands the utmost secrecy. Prithee be cautious, your Majesty. Should you be discovered, I will be unable to lend aught in the way of aid.
Tell is, Vermund was once a beastren kingdom.
Truly?
Indeed, though 'tis not widely known among the common folk.
I've seen better days, that's for sure.
It seems the rain has abated.
'Twasn't so bad. We'll be dry soon enough.
We've got goblins!
We have no means of exploiting our enemy's weakness.
Avoid flame if any cost arisen. You can be doused in oil. Let my magics grant you an elemental boon.
We trounced our foe well and true. We mustn't allow ourselves to become complacent. Take each trial as it comes.
We are none of us alike in vocation.
Our respective abilities are unique as well.
Let us utilize our individual strengths wherever possible.
I grant
overburdened if you keep picking up every little trinket you find. I'd wager there's aught to be found here.
We ought to take a closer look.
I'd sooner not battle those with whom we have no quarrel. Yet if they mean us harm, we can but defend ourselves. True enough. I grant you fire's blaze. Use it well. I shan't let it come. The prison has been torched. Quick!
Douse the flames!
It's but a flesh wound, yet nothing shaming. That was superb, Arisen.
Protect the shipment! Steel yourselves! Cut the beams down! Don't let them touch the shipment!
How did this happen? We must defend the cargo. There were tenacious ones.
Stay with me. Wait a moment.
I thank you for coming to our aid. That was a tight spot you saved us from. And what luck! Nary a scratch on the wares to show for it.
This wound is proof of my negligence.
We've come to reclaim armaments abandoned on previous... These roads have grown ever more perilous this past half a year. There's even been tell of banditry near the border. If your journey takes you there, you do well to stay on your guard.
I feel refreshed and ready for a new day.
Come, we've much to be getting on with.
Feeling rested, I trust?
This bridge has seen better days.
Proceed with caution, keeping an eye on either side.
Right you are.
I would have preferred not to have to fight so soon, but at least I know I am up to the challenge.
We must not let down our guard.
Let my magics grant you an elemental boon. Have at thee!
That was hard won.
We ought to consider this a lesson. This is what befalls one who lets down their guard.
Just yonder looks to be a good spot for harvesting ingredients. You have my protection. Aggressive, Master. We can ill afford to throw over. Our foe is not yet routed.
That was certainly worthwhile.
I grant you roaring flame.